you sacrificing your happiness for the sake of being busy? The truth is, neglecting self-care can have devastating effects on your mental and physical health. Let's change that, starting now. We've all been there, caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life, trying to juggle work, relationships, and responsibilities. But in the process, we often forget to take care of the most important person, ourselves. Self-care is not just a luxury, it's a necessity, and it's time we start prioritizing it. When we neglect self-care, we can start to feel burnt out, exhausted, and depleted, both physically and mentally. This can lead to a range of problems, from anxiety and depression to chronic illnesses and weakened immune systems. But it's not just about avoiding negative consequences. Self-care is also about cultivating positive habits and practices that can improve our overall well-being and quality of life. By taking care of ourselves, we become more resilient, more productive, and more able to handle the challenges that life throws our way. So, what exactly is self-care? And how can we incorporate it into our busy lives? Self-care is not just about pampering ourselves with spa treatments and massages. Although those things can be lovely, it's about taking intentional steps to nourish our minds, bodies, and spirits. It's about creating habits and routines that promote relaxation, stress relief, and overall wellness. This can include things like exercise, meditation, and spending time in nature, as well as getting enough sleep, eating nutritious food, and engaging in activities that bring us joy and fulfillment. One of the biggest obstacles to self-care is the idea that it's selfish or indulgent. But the truth is, taking care of ourselves is one of the most selfless things we can do. When we prioritize our own well-being, we become better partners, parents, friends, and colleagues. We become more patient, more compassionate, and more present. We're also more able to show up fully in our lives, to pursue our passions, and to make a positive impact in the world. So, it's time to let go of the guilt and the shame, and to start embracing self-care as an essential part of our daily lives. Now let's talk about some practical ways to prioritize self-care in our busy lives. One of the most important things we can do is to schedule self-care into our daily planners, just as we would any other important appointment. This can be as simple as setting aside 10 minutes each morning for meditation, or as involved as planning a weekly yoga class or a monthly massage. The key is to make self-care a non-negotiable part of our routine, something that we prioritize and protect. Another important thing we can do is to learn to say no, to set healthy boundaries, and to prioritize our own needs. This can be challenging, especially if we're used to putting others first, but it's essential for maintaining our own well-being. When we say yes to everything, we can quickly become overwhelmed, exhausted, and resentful. But when we say no, we create space for the things that truly matter. We create space for self-care, for rest, and for relaxation. In addition to scheduling self-care and setting healthy boundaries, we can also cultivate self-care habits in our daily lives. This can include things like taking a few deep breaths before a meeting or going for a short walk during our lunch break. It can include listening to music, reading a book, or simply taking a moment to appreciate the beauty of the world around us. These small moments of self-care may seem insignificant, but they can add up to make a big difference in our overall well-being. It's also important to remember that self-care is not a one-size-fits-all solution. What works for one person may not work for another. So, it's essential to experiment, to try new things, and to find what works best for us. This may involve trying different types of exercise, exploring different types of meditation, or experimenting with different types of creative expression. The key is to find what brings us joy, what helps us relax, and what makes us feel most alive. As we prioritize self-care, we may also need to reevaluate our relationships and to surround ourselves with people who support and uplift us. This can be challenging, especially if we have toxic or draining relationships in our lives, but it's essential for our own well-being. When we surround ourselves with positive, loving people, we feel seen, heard, and valued, and we're more able to show up fully in our own lives. In addition to nurturing our relationships, we can also prioritize self-care by creating a nurturing environment, a space that feels peaceful, calming, and inspiring. This can include things like decluttering our homes, creating a soothing color scheme, or simply adding some plants and natural elements to our space. When we create a peaceful environment, we feel more relaxed, more at ease, and more able to unwind. As we continue on this journey of self-care, it's also important to remember that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to struggle, and it's okay to ask for help. Self-care is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength, and it's a sign that we're taking our own well-being seriously. So, if we're struggling, if we're feeling overwhelmed, or if we're simply feeling stuck, it's essential to reach out for support, whether that's to a friend, a family member, or a mental health professional. In the end, prioritizing self-care is not just about taking care of ourselves, it's about creating a more compassionate, more loving, and more peaceful world. When we take care of ourselves, we become more able to show up for others, to listen, to support, and to love. So let's make self-care a priority. Let's make it a non-negotiable part of our daily lives, and let's watch as our lives transform in amazing ways. As we come to the end of this video, we hope you've been inspired to prioritize your own self-care, to make it a central part of your daily life. Remember, self-care is not a luxury. It's a necessity, and it's essential for maintaining our mental and physical health. If you're looking for more tips, tricks, and inspiration on how to prioritize self-care, be sure to check out our next video, where we'll be exploring the importance of mindfulness and meditation in our busy lives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.